Hello. Well, I have just returned from my trip to France, to Brittany, and finished my sketchbook journal and wanted to share it with you in a video. So this is a sticker that I bought there, and that's the town that we stayed in, Saint-Brieuc. And I will just show you these pages. So I added a little watercolor that says Brittany Art Experience 2022. And the agapanthus were about to bloom, and they were blooming in many places in Brittany, and I just loved them. So Matthew sent me a photo of one of them, and I drew it and painted it. And on this translucent sheet that covers up this page, and this is a map of Saint-Brieuc, and showing La Manche, which is in Britain. They call it the English Channel, but of course in France they call it something else, and it's called La Manche. So this is our flight itinerary, which is a little bit crazy, and here is the pointer that shows where our villa was, the Villa La Bertinière. And the first day, you can see I poured coffee on this page because in the morning of the second day that I was there, I tried to make coffee and I messed it up, and coffee was flowing everywhere in the kitchen, and it caused a lot of laughter, and I was banned from using the coffee maker. So it was a memory I wanted to save. And so this view was spectacular. I loved the tall pine trees that framed the view, and I just wanted to draw the trees. And then, so the first day out, I guess, we went to a town called Saint-Brieuc and did some drawing and sketched while we were there. Had a lovely time. It's a beautiful city, and the building over here is the chateau where we had lunch. It was wonderful. And so this was another sketch in that same location. I turned around and loved the building behind me. So this is a sketch of one of the homes there in Saint-Brieuc. Then waiting for our lunches, I did a little sketch of what was on the table, a little bouquet of flowers, and just the stuff that was on the table. And this is that very evening, there's a chandelier of antlers in this home, which is like a castle and spectacular. Everywhere we looked, something was just wonderful. These light fixtures were above a pool table with a purple velvet cover on it. This was a very fun sketch for me. This was just sitting by the window and looking out at the view of the home that was next to us, and just had a good time. It was cloudy, cool, some rain. The other artists were sleeping, taking a nap, and I just couldn't stop myself from sketching. And this was in the morning. This is that view I was talking about, where we have these pine trees framing this view, and this view still haunts me. I still see it in my dreams. This was a fancy hotel. It's now residences, or I guess condos, and called Residences Arvro. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly, but quite spectacular. And another view of the back door. This is the kitchen that all our meals were prepared, and the dining room is right next to the kitchen. And kind of not putting every detail into it, this is the view from the backyard. And so then a little walk to the beach. Still a little cool to go swimming. The water was a bit cold, but I loved all these little white houses that were changing houses all along the beach there, so people could change their clothes and have a little privacy. So that was quite fun to see. And that same day, walked along the beach and did a quick sketch of these boats. I loved all their posts, or whatever you call them. Not a boating person, but they were very graphic, and I enjoyed drawing them. Calla lilies, we were brought a bunch of them, and they stayed in the dining room on the credenza, I guess, the whole time we were there, and only began to fade after the first week or so. And this was the Sennelier Plein Air Festival. We were invited to come and paint. Annie was one of the judges, and this is a kind of iconic view of this city of Dinard, which was beautiful, and lots of people out drawing and painting and sketching, and lots of fun. Bought this artichoke at this market in Lanceau, and I intended to do a painting of it, and I did finally draw it, but it sat in a vase for a couple days while I waited to do that. Saint-Malo was just a wonderful, wonderful town. We met Yves Marie, who is the creative director for Sennelier. He wanted to come and draw and paint with us, and so we met him there, and we were along the seaside, and this is what I drew while we were there. Second sketch with Yves Marie and his daughter Eve. This is again the seaside. It was again low tide by the sea. There were children. This little French boy was so interested in what we were doing that we invited him to come and paint with us, and shared our paints and our paper. And his sister came along. His brother, I think, came along and joined us. And so these two children were painting along with us. It was really delightful. Having fun just doing a watercolor without my usual pen and ink. So that was different for me and a lot of fun. Challenging, I guess. And this was a view from my bathroom window of these houses. I just love the way the houses are sort of helter-skelter, every which way, lots of different roof angles, and always the same sort of color roofs, and very, very pretty. This was, again, a kind of a different approach for me, a pencil drawing and just some very loose watercolor of the back door of the villa, and trying not to get very detailed. And then very fun. I love the kitchen, and so this was a contour drawing that was done of the kitchen, and I love the way they're so wonky and fun. And then another day, we went into Saint-Brieuc, the town, and spent time sketching, journaling, drawing, painting, enjoying the city. While I was standing there was a bakery on the corner, and people kept pulling up in their cars and going back to their cars with loaves of bread. It was very fun. Another just watercolor of this view, which I really enjoyed doing, and it was just a lot of fun, just really, really very fun. This was a very quick watercolor sketch. We were about to leave, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, so it was a little hurried, but just trying to capture those houses off in the distance, and the roofs that go every which way. Last day, I think, this journal got a little out of whack because I picked it up in different locations and didn't necessarily follow the sequence, so things may be a little out of order. But this is in the backyard, gazebo, this glass gazebo, and these stone pillars that go all the way down the hill. One morning we went to Mont Saint-Michel. It was a kind of a long drive there, so we left early in the morning, and I was so thrilled to see this. This is the statue of Saint Michael, the Archangel, who is up on top of the very top of the top of the church up there. And I decided to add this little booklet that we picked up there with more information about it and my sketch. It's amazing to actually be there and see it and walk all the way up to the top. There's a little kind of a village down on the base of Mont Saint-Michel, inside of the walls that surround it. And they're just these lovely, lovely little houses and structures that are just so charming and beautiful. This is a walk back from the beach. I'd gone to the beach and took some photos, and these were actually done at home of the views that I passed along the way, and I added a map of that little walk that takes you to the beach, and just some things along the way. We were invited again to Sennelier to tour the factory, and we watched them We saw where they were making brushes, and this is also brushes being made. An entire wall of watercolors. They have honey bees beehive on the roof because they add honey to their watercolors. Buckets of just stacks of buckets with lots of paint on them and acrylics, and this is a kind of a brochure that I picked up there about all their products. And big bags full of pigment, ultramarine blue and cadmium orange and all these wonderful colors. The acrylics are being mixed in this huge vat, and then the pastels are poured into these molds and then come out as pastels. Awesome. Another day we went back to this was a day, I'm sorry, in Dinan, which is another medieval city, and so very beautiful. I love the medieval towns. They're so charming and just so quaint and beautiful. I sat by the River Rance and did this painting of the buildings across the way. And then I went and had an ice cream at the ice cream shop. And so at the end, I decided to just put a big old map of Brittany. Although we did not cover so much of it, we were concentrated primarily in this area here, where our Saint-Brieuc is located, and here is Dinard and Saint-Malo, Dinan, and down here, about an hour and a half drive, is Rennes, where we arrived at the airport. So this was a painting that I did. This is a print of it for the owner as a gift. We all painted a little something and gave the owner gifts of our watercolors because he was such a lovely man. And the back, I had done these studies of the colors that I was bringing with me, just as a guide, I guess. It were primarily the same colors I used, but added a few others because I thought they would be more appropriate for Brittany. And this is tickets and plane tickets and postcards and other ephemera that I collected and wanted to keep. So that is my Brittany journal, Bretagne. Hope you enjoy this little video. Thanks so much.